All right, everybody. Hi there, this is Mr. Linka. This week we're going to talk about assignments 1.4, 1.6, and 1.9. And beginning with assignment 1.4, which is all about fake news. You may have heard this term quite often lately, and the focus is to be careful what we read on the internet. And you start with the fake news link under the table of contents in the menu bar on the left side. And this menu bar is going to guide us through all of our units. We have to make sure that we click on all of the links on the way down that are active in blue to make sure we get all the reading in. So first of all, we're going to watch the two videos on the fake news page and think of some questions that people could ask to decide if a news source that you're listening to is false or maybe biased. Now you might have heard that word bias before. The definition is a feeling or opinion you have about something that might not be fair or balanced. So our fake news assignment 1.4, you're going to watch the short video on fake news and bias. And this video will focus on three important ideas. Number one, checking one source against other sources. You're going to try and find three different sources for the same news story. Also, you want to try and be aware of broadening or making bigger your sources of news. Instead of always going to the same sites, maybe you want to check out some different sites or even some opposing sites to get a broader idea of the story. And then finally, going to the source to get your information whenever possible. If you have a question about a source, perhaps going straight to the company's website will give you the most accurate information. So your task is to think of a news story that you have heard recently, and then find an article online that describes the news story. And this will be your source number one. Next, find two more reports on the internet about your story using different sources. And this will be source number two and source number three. Now we want you to try to use sources that you wouldn't usually look at online. For example, go to some newspaper articles, read some opinion pieces, some blogs, and then complete the attached assignment 4 fake news or bias worksheet. Now, when you check out the articles, make sure you copy the links because you will need to paste them into the worksheet, and then submit the worksheet when completed for 12 marks. Next, we're going to take a break and work on our grammar, the grammar checkup. And again, going down the table of contents, we'll click on the blue link, grammar checkup. And we're going to be focusing on sentence fragments and run-on sentences. Now, a sentence fragment, a fragment is a piece of something. So that means a sentence fragment is not a complete sentence, it's a piece of a sentence. And you need to complete it by adding more of something. A run-on sentence is when you have a sentence that is too long and doesn't have the proper punctuation. It's really two sentences that don't have a full stop or a conjunction to create one sentence. We want you to do the self-marking practice quizzes to test your skills. Do not submit them for a mark, but you need to be able to recognize these things and not have fragments and run-on sentences in all of your assignments, because you will be getting marked on your grammar and sentence structure in every single one of your assignments. So make sure you're editing them careful, and this is a big help to you. All right, when you're finished that, you're going to be moving on to assignment 1.6. In this assignment, you will write an expository essay to inform your audience about some issue or event. You will examine a larger issue. In this case, we're going to be looking at the twinning of the Alberta-BC pipeline. And for research, you will watch a video and read a CBC article that will be provided. Now remember to give credit to your sources. First of all, go back to the table of contents menu on the left, click on the expository writing and watch the video so that you can learn what is an expository essay. You will be writing a multi-paragraph composition with an introduction and 2 or 3 body paragraphs and a conclusion paragraph. And don't forget, this is a research paper, so you will have to include citations in your essay. And you learned about those earlier, and you can refresh your memory by going back and clicking on those citations links. And you learned about them specifically in assignment 1.2, giving credit. So go back and look at that. In your essay, you're going to include approximately 3 to 5 citations, and they will be MLA format. Your essay will be about 2 pages double-spaced, and you must include at least 2 other outside sources for your essay. And you must include in-text citations and a works cited page at the end of your essay. So you want to make sure that that is formatted properly, those in-cite citations and those that works cited page at the end of your essay. Remember what you've learned about bias. You're not supposed to have an opinion in an expository essay. You're just supposed to explain the facts. And then finally, for this week, assignment 1.9, which is your journal reflection number 1. This is your first journal reflection, and these are supposed to be multi-paragraph reflections about what you've learned in that unit. So you're supposed to think about the big idea of that unit. And the first one looks at the exploration of text and story and how it deepens our understanding of diverse, complex ideas about identity, others, and the world. So this looks at the personal connections you can make between yourself, what you have read in Unit 1, and the outside world. In your journal, write about what you have learned in this unit and how you are connected to the outside world. What do these ideas mean to you and why do they matter? This should be a multi-paragraph response. And don't forget you have to submit that as well by the due date.